Oh, yeah! You know what time it is. That's right, it's time for the Eddie and Webby Podcast! Yo, I'ma bust out some theme song action for you. Check it out. The Eddie and Webby Show is the place to be. They're talking about beer and pickleball and technology. So if you didn't know, now you know. 'Cause it's time for the Eddie and Webby Show.
Today's episode, Eddie and Webby are coming at you in 3D. This is the Eddie and Webby Podcast.
Yeah. I know you think Lauren and Kyle are a couple of Eddie and Webby wannabes. Yes, I'm going to try and lay the smackdown on them at Think for Pink this weekend. All right? Okay. Bye, Graham. Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie, and this is our 55th podcast.
Oh, yeah. Episode number 55, and you are not going to want to miss one single second of the show. We're going to have so much great content from beginning to end.
That's right. We are live, folks. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And for the two people, yes, I said it, two people, we're live on Twitch. What do you say about that, Webby?
Oh, that's awesome. Love it. Hopefully Twitch Chris is watching. Haven't seen Twitch Chris in a while, but shout out to Twitch Chris.
Yeah. Hey, Twitch Chris.
But yeah, we have another amazing show in store for you guys today. But before we get started, we do want to acknowledge that the pickleball world lost a true legend with the passing of pickleball co-creator Barney McCallum a few days ago. So our thoughts are definitely with Barney's family during this difficult time, but they can absolutely rest assured that his legacy will live on forever. And I don't know about you, but all I can say about Barney is thank you for helping create such an amazing game that has impacted the lives of millions of people around the world. I mean, that's something to be very, very proud of. It's an incredible thing that he helped create.
Absolutely. I don't think there's anything more I can add to that. That was very well put, Webby.
Thank you. And I mean, just think about it. Can you imagine coming up with a game with a couple of your friends and it just becomes an absolute phenomenon and it grows at such a rapid pace like pickleball did?
Yeah, and they could always look back on that moment too and have seen like that they were just making this sport to play in their backyard, didn't really think it was going to go anywhere, and now boom, here it is.
Yeah, it's incredible. I've been watching videos the last couple of days, like all the interviews that people have done with Barney over the years, and it's amazing. The story is it's such a cool story, and it's just an awesome thing, and he will be dearly missed. That's for sure.
That's right. Well, coming off of that heartfelt message there, Webby, I think we should probably get jumping into the podcast here. As we mentioned, this is episode number 55. I can't believe we're at episode 55. That's incredible.
Yeah, I really can't believe it. Like this, it's not something I ever thought was going to happen.
That's right. And guys, this is meant to be interactive. So if you have any comments or questions for the guest that we're going to be introducing shortly, go ahead and make sure you throw them in the comments on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. And stick around because after the podcast is over, we're going to go dark for a real short period of time. And then we're going to come right back with Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby. And you, yes, you might be able to come on the show if you have a smartphone or laptop with a good internet connection and preferably some headphones or earbuds with a microphone. Reach out to us, DM us, and we might be able to make that happen. Right, Webby?
That's right. It's a super fun time, so I highly suggest if any of you want to join us, you should absolutely do so. And I do want to say, yo, to our buddy Jay Hall. What's up, Gizmo?
What's up, Gizmo? Appreciate you listening in. Oh, I just set off Alexa in my office again. I do that all the time. That's crazy. One more thing I want to bring up before we jump into our guest for the evening here is that today's show is sponsored by us. Do you know what that means, Webby? What does that mean?
What does that even mean? I have no idea. What's that mean?
That means that there's an Eddie and Webby store where you can find amazing merchandise like the shirt that I'm wearing right now. Let me move the microphone out of the way so you can see it.
I love it. I love that
Yes.
shirt.
It reminds me of the. It's actually a ripoff of the old Dare shirts from when we were younger, and it says
That's right.
Dink, 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 slam. Go to the Eddie and Webby store to be able to check it out. Webby, what about the shirt you're wearing? Is that from the Eddie and Webby store?
Oh, you mean this shirt right here?
I do mean that shirt right there.
As a matter of fact, you can get your very own Pickleball for Life shirt on the Eddie and Webby store.
That's right. And so if you guys go to eddieandwebby.com/store, you can use coupon code PICKLE10 for 10% off your first order. Can you believe that?
Nice. I can't. That's incredible.
Yes. Man, this self-promotion is killing me right now. Super uncomfortable with
It's
it. But guys,
amazing. I love
check
it.
it out.
We should do it so much more.
That's right. If you guys like this, we're going to have plenty more designs coming up. So definitely go there, check it out. It helps us to possibly make some trips here in 2020, which we're excited to be able to do.
Yes. We if we're going to meet all the challenges that have been thrown our way, we've got a lot of traveling in store for us.
That's right. Well, Webby, I'm excited to bring our guest on. But before we do that, what's going on in Twitter?
Ah, yes. Good old Twitter. Let me pull Twitter up here and see what is going on the Twitter sphere, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Here is a comment from Pickleballaholic at Eddie and Webby. Tony from Into Pickle was an awesome guest. He gave some great tips for people like me that are trying to get better. Great episode.
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree. I think he did give some great tips, and Tony's a good guy, really, really trying to promote the sport, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, that was a super fun episode. I love talking to Tony, and he gave a lot of great tips. So if you have not watched episode 54, I highly recommend it.
Check it out.
Here is a comment from No Smoke for Life. Wasn't Eddie supposed to be a benchmark 4.0 player by now? What went wrong? Also, why is Webby making a fool of himself in 4.0 tournaments now? You both need to go back to 2.5 where you belong. Oh my God.
Well,
brutal.
It's not going to stop me from trying. Still going after that 4.0.
Yep, same here. I am definitely going to stick with 4.0 for a bit, as long as I can find partners willing to play with me in the 4.0 level.
That's right.
I do not want to look back.
Yeah, no smoke for life.
More like no joke for life.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. That doesn't seem to make sense. But anyway, let's do one more. Let's do one more comment on Twitter. Here's one from Matt Dayman. Eddie and Webby. Pickleball for Life has got to be the most underrated song on YouTube. It's such a great song, yet videos of cats puking have way more views. What is going on with the world today? I agree, Matt. What is wrong with the world today?
I mean, cat puking videos are funny. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I don't know why it hasn't taken off. That's crazy.
Yeah, how sad is that? Like this musical masterpiece that we made isn't as good as cat puking videos. What? Oh, well. I don't know.
Maybe we need a cat puking in the video next time, and then it'll take off.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. That's where we went wrong.
Well, good stuff on Twitter, right, Webby?
Yeah, that is it for the Twitter sphere for today.
All right. What are we doing now? Okay, that's it. Show's over, guys.
You know what? Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think anybody else tuned in for anything else that's going on today, so we can just end the show. Oh, wait a second. No, we have a guest. I think we should get to our guest. What do you think about that?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, let's do it. I am super excited to have today's guest join us. She is an extremely talented and accomplished individual. Not only has she had great success at the biggest pro-level pickleball tournaments around the country, but she is also a very skilled golfer. She's a great tennis player, and she even has a PhD in finance. So basically, she excels at pretty much everything she does. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Corrine Carr. How's it going, Corrine?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And most people don't realize this, but when you have a pickleball podcast, you're actually legally obligated to ask the following question. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way. And how did you first get involved in pickleball?
I joined an athletic club in Michigan because I needed something to do in the winter, which is long in Michigan. And I wanted to get back into tennis. So I was playing tennis, and somebody, Dan O'Toole, who also got Simone and Joey and DJ Howard into pickleball, and Catherine, I think. He, showed up and wanted me to try pickleball. I was like, well, I guess I'll try it. I don't know. I'd heard it. Had no idea what it was, but I tried it, and just like, everybody says, I fell in love right away. So the normal story.
Nice. So being a Michigander myself, how much of your life was spent in Michigan?
Just 5 years. So I did my PhD at Michigan State, and it took 5 years. And as soon as I was done, I left.
Oh man, yeah. I don't blame you. I'm a lifelong Michigander. I don't mind it, but I get why people want to get out of here. These winters are pretty brutal.
Beautiful. And I have the summers off, so I feel like I can go to Michigan in the summer. They can have the winters. Yeah.
Nice. So you said you have your PhD, and if I understand correctly, you're actually a professor. Is that right?
I am. I'm a professor of finance at Campbell University, which is about 45 minutes outside of Raleigh.
All right.
So,
nice. So
that's what I did today.
Awesome. So should we, for the rest of the show, should we refer to you as Professor Corrine, or is that what we're supposed to do?
I'm just Corrine. No.
Nice. Well, we have a ton of great topics to go over, but I have to apologize because I'm actually very thirsty at the moment, and I really cannot continue until I crack open a beverage and get some liquid down my throat because I'm super thirsty. So I don't know if you happen to bring anything with you to drink, but now would be a perfect time to bust that out so we can crack open a cold one.
All right. Yeah.
What do you got?
So I have an Aviator Brewing beer, Crackpot Pills. And so this
Nice.
is a local beer. Yep. Local beer, Aviator Brewing. And I actually had the CFO visit one of my MBA classes to talk about beer and finance. That was a fun night. It was a night class.
Very nice. I will debut mine if you don't mind, Eddie.
Go for it, man.
This is actually something I've never had before, and it is from one of my favorite breweries here in Michigan, and that is Bell's Brewery. And this is Arabica Dabra. It is described as a coffee milk stout. It is a little brewer's magic transforms locally roasted Arabica beans and a variety of specialty malts into a creamy, intense coffee stout. Enjoy it before it disappears.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
The
Too. Magic
abracadabra
reference.
theme. Yeah, I get it. Haha, that's awesome. I've never even heard of that beer before, so that's cool.
Yeah, I saw it on the shelves the other day, and I was like, I'm going to give this a try. This is stout season. I am craving stouts lately, so perfect time to try this out. Yeah, and what do you got, Eddie?
That's that crappy time of year in Michigan for the next 6 months where all you want to do is
whatever.
Okay, I actually have the American Wheat from Fort Myers Brewing Company. It's no surprise that I'm a little bit of a fanboy of Fort Myers Brewing Company, and we were hanging out with the owners last weekend, and I just wanted to name drop that real quick. And they gave me a couple cans fresh off their brand new canning line, so I'm excited to try this. I've never had it before, and it's an American wheat, so it drinks probably more like an Oberon than a traditional wheat beer. So I'm assuming it's going to be nice and clear, and I'm excited to drink it.
Well, very nice. It sounds good.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
All right, so now that I finally got that out of the way, we can go ahead and continue with this interview. Sorry about that. But as I mentioned in your introduction, you have quite the background in golf, and I heard that you actually earned a scholarship to Furman University due to your golf skills. Is that right?
Yes, I did. I didn't stay there, though. I ended up transferring to the University of South Carolina. So I graduated as a Gamecock. I played golf there, too.
So did you, so how long have you been playing golf?
I started around the age of 7. I got my first full set of golf
wow.
gloves. Yeah, at 7. I broke my arm that summer, so it didn't play. but but I started around that age.
Okay. Very cool. Our good friend Barrett Kinchelow from the Pickleball Kitchen podcast, he frequently talks about things that he learned while playing golf that he can implement in pickleball. Do you ever find yourself incorporating anything that you developed with your golf success that you've carried over into pickleball?
I do. Golf's a very mental game. I mean, you can have all the skill in the world, but if you don't have a strong mental game, then it's pretty worthless. Which that was me out there. If I could have made all my putts, or 95% of them 4 feet and in, no problem, then I probably would have. I may have never found pickleball. It's possible, but.
Oh, wow.
I think that pickleball, because it definitely has a slower side with the dinking. You have a lot of time to think about what you're doing, so there's a lot of time to get in your own way. And definitely, I've carried something over from golf for that part of the game. So staying a little bit more mentally strong, staying in the moment, not getting ahead of yourself, or focusing on anything that's happened already. And if the hardest thing for me in golf was standing over a 3-foot putt that counted, and dinking feels a lot easier than that.
Okay. Yeah, I've only golfed a few times in my life, but yeah, putting seems like such a tough thing. Like I'm really good at putt golf and miniature golf, but like golfing on an actual green, like on an actual golf course, that's a totally different game right there.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's because you stand over some of those shots and you feel like this should be so easy. And because you think you should do it easily, make a putt pretty easily from 3 feet and in, then it puts extra pressure. So, I mean, I think people feel that way with dinking. You stand there and you dink and you feel like this looks so easy, but it's so much harder than it looks. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it really is.
It really is. When I first watched pickleball, I thought, oh man, I can go out there and beat everybody. I mean, the game's changed. The game has changed. But when I first started watching it, that's what I thought. But then, of course, you go out there and that's not what happens.
Oh, yeah.
So
I definitely know how that goes.
Definitely harder than it looks.
So I've got kind of a funny story. When I was still very new to pickleball and didn't know who any of the pros were yet, I would constantly get alerts on my phone from Google about pickleball related news stories or news articles on the internet. And I saw one that was actually about you, and it mentioned how a golfer was getting into pickleball and becoming very successful at it. And stories like that always got me super excited because I could send those links to my friends that don't play pickleball, and I could prove to them that other people do actually play this other than just old people and like nursing homes and stuff like that. So it's like when I saw the story about you, I was like, man, check this out. Like, this is awesome. She's coming from the golf world. She's still young and she's getting into pickleball. And this was before I even knew like about how big the pro level in pickleball was getting. And so, I mean, this is definitely an exciting day for me to be able to talk to you, because I kid you not, you were one of the first pros that I ever became familiar with just because of this article that got sent to me because of a Google alert.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, anytime I get a chance to show people that oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I don't have the same. I did grow up playing some tennis, but I definitely don't have the same tennis background that some of the other top players have. And it does make it a little bit more challenging, but I'm glad I can hang in with everybody. Even though I'm often the one getting picked on. But I mean, I wouldn't change anything. I love this game.
So how much tennis did you play? How long did you play before you got into pickleball?
So when I was young, I did play quite a bit of junior tennis. But I was playing a lot of golf at the same time. My parents pretty much told me, if you want to get a college scholarship in either golf or tennis, you got to pick one. I couldn't do both and be, where I would have hoped to be in both sports. So I ended up choosing golf. And that was I played my last serious tennis tournament at 14. And then I did play a little bit of high school tennis, but it was I went to high school to a small private school. It wasn't a lot of competition. There were a few players that were good and gave me really good matches, but for the most part, it was not, it just wasn't the same level. So golf at 14 definitely became my main focus.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and then didn't play much, and then picked it up after college again in Michigan.
Nice. My hometown. Yeah. So how did you start getting into it to where you started competing in the pro level tournaments and stuff like that? Like how did that all come about?
So Dan O'Toole, Dan O'Toole talked me into going to a pickleball tournament in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I was like, I don't know. But I agreed, and I went and I played with him, and I played with his wife in doubles, I believe. And at that tournament, I felt like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. I hadn't competed in anything in probably, 4 or 5 years at that point. And I realized there how much I'd missed it. And the pickleball community is just so amazing. And I fell in love with everything about pickleball at that tournament. So there, I don't know, some people probably remember Deli Stinnett. He used to be, when he was at a tournament, everybody knew he was there. But I met him at this pickleball tournament, and he was going to Tournament of Champions a few weeks later and needed a doubles partner. So asked if I would like to play with them. Like, yeah, sure, I'll fly out to Utah and play. I was still in grad school. I had my grad school income, which was not very much. And I just played my first pickleball tournament. I'm like, yeah, I'll fly to Utah. So I flew out to Salt Lake and played in TOC. And that, from then on, I was totally hooked. I've been 100%, not 100%, fully committed to playing pickleball. That was definitely my number one sport. From that point on.
Nice. Yeah, so Eddie, what's going on the social media world there?
Yeah, we actually got a couple questions that came in here. First one was from our friend Leslie White. You brought up high school, and she just wants to know, what high school was it that you went to?
The O'Neill School in Pinehurst, North Carolina.
All right. Where?
Very small.
Where is Pinehurst?
Pinehurst is really, you're not a golfer.
Oh, that Pinehurst. Okay. All right.
That Pinehurst.
Yes. There you go. Okay. Yes. That Pinehurst. All right.
Yes.
Very nice.
US Open's been there a few times. You got Pinehurst number 2. Anyway, that's where I went to high school.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
A quick comment from our buddy Ed Dine. He just says, hi, guys. Great guest. Hi, Corrine.
Hey, Ed, how's it going?
And we have a question here from David Tappy. He says, ask Corrine if she is ready to give David and Kate with IQ Pickleball another shot at her and Tyler Loong.
Ooh.
Anytime.
Yeah.
We're ready.
I like it. Very nice.
So, Eddie, I want to bring up something funny that happened recently with us. I like to use voice to text a lot. When when communicating with Eddie. It's just something I do all the time, and I find it humorous because voice to text always butchers what it is that I'm trying to say. And when I was telling him about how you agreed to be on the show with us, instead of Corrine Carr, it thought that I said Korean Carr.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
yeah, Nothing can get my name down. Nothing. It's Karen. I've definitely got Korean.
Korean,
I've had
Karen.
some nicknames as a result of that kind of thing. I did have a friend
I'm not
who
gonna
called me
lie.
Korean for a while.
I'm not gonna lie. After that happened, like we've been referring to you as Corrine Carr ever since then, just
Okay.
because
Yep.
it makes us laugh. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. I'm used to it.
But man, I've seriously, I've got to tell you, some of my absolute favorite pickleball matches I've ever watched, or the matches I've watched in the past year have involved you. The matches with you and Simone that I've watched have been great. And I absolutely love anytime you and Simone played against Leigh and Anna-Leigh Waters. Those are always such epic battles from beginning to end. I feel like they almost always go to a game 3. In fact, we have a video clip that I'd like to play from this year's Beer City Open that happened in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I was running all over the place with my video camera and just so happened to be recording during one of the matches that you and Simone had against the Waters. And it was not one that was on the center court. So I'm glad I would just happen to be walking around and catching this match. So Eddie, I'd like to go ahead and roll the clip.
2-5-1.
Such an epic rally. I love watching that rally. And the crazy thing is, like, it was a great rally, and then it looked like the Waters had pretty much gotten the point because they had that one ball that just barely trickled over the net, and then you come in to save the day and keep it going, and then the rally just goes on like 3 times longer, and it was just amazing. Like that rally right there so far has been the best rally I've ever witnessed in person. So I was very fortunate to be there. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good point. And a nice chest pump at the end with Simone.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I love that rally. That was such a great tournament. But like, how does it feel to consistently be involved in such high caliber matches like that?
Yeah, pickleball over the last year, it's just gotten more and more fun. I mean, it's gotten more difficult. There are more good players that have come up, but it's gotten more exciting. The matches are better, and when you get more good players coming up, it forces everybody to raise their game. So, I feel like I've actually gotten better over the last year, but it's gotten harder and harder to even make it to the finals. So, but matches like that, they're so much fun. They're more fun when you win.
Oh, I bet. I wouldn't know what that feels like, but it seems like it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was at the Beer City Open in Grand Rapids this past summer, and that was my first taste of seeing all the pros in one place, and it was amazing. Like I can't wait to see more stuff like that in person. I'm hoping to try to go to the US Open in 2020. I've never been there before, so that'll be fun. But like that was just like, it was like a whole new world for me to see that kind of action in person. Because I mean the live streams are awesome. I love seeing the live streams, but you cannot compare to the excitement and the energy that you feel when you're there in person. I mean, it's just incredible.
No, it's so different watching on YouTube or online versus watching in person. The game's so much faster. And I don't know why it shows up that way, but man, in person, pickleball, it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, like I
And
couldn't believe it because. Oh, go ahead.
It's just, I mean, the good players, it's amazing. The hands are so fast. It's amazing when everybody gets back, and the points last, they last a long time. You feel like the point should have ended like 5 minutes ago.
Right? Yeah, it really is incredible. And Eddie and I were there every single day of the Beer City Open from very early in the morning till it got dark pretty much every single day. And the days just flew by. Like I never would have thought, like even though I'm super addicted to pickleball, I love everything about pickleball, but I still didn't think that I would want to sit there all day, every day for 4 days. But I kid you not, like every day it just flew by. It was just so entertaining. Those matches were awesome to watch. And like I like to do highlight videos every time I go to an event. And I had so much footage to go through. It took me over a month just to edit highlight videos. It ended up turning into a 5-part series because I could not cut it all down into like one short video just because there was so much amazing action to go through.
Yeah. Well, I hope you go to the US Open this year.
Yeah, I'm
'cause
really
you get
hoping to be able
everybody
to make
there.
it.
Do it.
Yeah,
Do it. Do it.
I am gonna do what I can to make that happen because I've just gotta
Yeah.
do it. I gotta do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing I want to talk about, something that Eddie and I talked about last week on Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby, is somebody had brought up a topic about they were asking if it feels to anybody else like when you ask somebody to be your partner, is it like asking them out on a date, or is it like if you decide you want to like move on and play with a different partner, is it like breaking up with somebody? Do you like on the pro level? Do you feel that way, or is it like a kind of a
Yeah.
different experience when you're on the pro side? You do feel that way still?
Yeah, I do feel that way.
Okay.
If you're gonna make a real commitment to a partner, yeah, it is almost like asking somebody to date you. And then when you end your partnership, it's kind of like breaking up. And I don't know. It's sort of a strange thing, but I've definitely, over the last couple of years, I've definitely felt like I've gone through it's like dating and breaking up.
Right. Yeah, 'cause that's
Yeah.
exactly what we thought too. Because it's like, yeah, will you go out with me? Like, you don't know, like, is it like, are you gonna get rejected, or are they gonna be like, oh, sorry, I'm
Yeah.
already playing with somebody, or I'm already like yeah, just
Oh, yeah.
whatever somebody might say. But yeah, I absolutely equate it to asking somebody out on a date and just a relationship in general.
Yeah, I mean, it is a relationship. It's on the court, it's a relationship, and
Yeah.
I'm not just trying to find the best player, I'm trying to find somebody whose personality is gonna match well with mine on the court. Um, and it's not as easy as you would think.
Oh, I bet. And like
Yeah.
something that's always intrigued me, like on the pro level, like it seems like the pros are constantly in like swapping out partners and playing with different partners and stuff. Like, do you feel like talking about that at all, as far as like what goes into deciding who you're gonna play with during big tournaments? Or
For me personally, I mean, I want to be with a good player, but I wouldn't necessarily even choose the best player out there, because if they're the best player, but the personality is not going to really the competitive personality isn't really going to mesh well with mine, then it's not going to make for a good partnership. So I definitely look at how good of a player they are, and then also um, how I'm going to feel on the court with them. And for me, the more relaxed I am, the better I'm going to play. So I need to play with somebody who's going to be supportive no matter what. I'm bound to hit some bad shots, and I want to know that they're going to be there behind me, and it's going to be okay. And they're going to try to pick me up if that happens. And then it's going to get better, because it always, I can be a little streaky. There are ups and downs. And, but if I play with somebody who's going to get mad at, a bad shot, then forget it. I'm going to play terribly. So it's definitely,
absolutely.
also I found if I play with somebody who is not very intense and they kind of had the same sort of attitude I have out there, which is like, yeah, this is fun. Then I am not nearly intense enough, and it's a little bit too much like rec play. So I do need somebody who's a little bit more intense than I am to get me a little bit more intense. But yeah, a good amount goes into picking a partner, I think.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. Like, I feel like chemistry really has a lot to do with it, because I've chosen partners in the past that maybe weren't as good or as skilled as another person that I could have partnered up with, but just like being able to have more fun with somebody to me is almost more important, because if we're having fun out there, chances are we'll be more relaxed and maybe even do better.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know what you
'cause-
mean. So I've played a couple of tournaments with Wes Gabrielson, and oh my gosh, he is the most supportive partner in the world. And it's like, no matter what I do, he's going to be, that's all right. We'll get the next one, and there's nothing I can do wrong. And man, I relax so much with him, and I play much better pickleball. So yeah, personality definitely is important. And Simone too has been so supportive, because I know I can be a lot to carry, but she through everything has been extremely supportive. Has always had my back. And if I ever start to feel like maybe I need someone to take off a little bit of the pressure, she tries to do what she can to take some of it. But
Nice.
but yeah.
Well, I know Eddie and I, we always have a blast when we're out there playing. We might not always do the greatest and have the best results, but I kid you not, I definitely have the best time when playing with Eddie.
Yeah, we have fun. And Webby's back is really sore after for carrying me the whole time. So.
Oh, but I don't know. I feel like, at least for me, after playing golf seriously, pickleball is just, it'll never have the same intensity for me that golf did. And it's fun. I love this game. It's been such a life changer for me.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Oh, it's the most fun I've had playing a sport and since I was a little kid.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about the sport. Like, I can't think of any other sport that has the impact on people's lives that pickleball does. I mean, it's just I've never experienced anything like it. And then just me myself, like I never would have thought I'd be involved in competitive tournaments regularly on a regular basis, but I cannot get enough of them. I love rec play because it's just so fun and chill, and just everything about the game is just amazing.
It is, yeah. Definitely added to my life enormously.
Yeah. What's going on, Eddie?
So, I mean, this is awesome conversation here, and a lot of questions have started to come in here. So I have 2 lightning round questions, which means you have to answer them super quickly, and then one that's a little bit longer and more discussion based. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1. This is from Ed Dine, and he wants to know, U.S. Open or Nationals?
Ooh.
Oh, no. I think I hate even saying the answer. Nationals.
Oh.
The weather's just a little bit more bearable.
Yeah, especially last year it was hot at U.S. Open. So
Oh my gosh, so hot.
I get it. But I've never been to Nationals, but I can't imagine that the energy during the finals isn't, I'm assuming that it's on the same level, or maybe even the U.S. Open is a little bit higher. Those championship matches, right? Saturday night, everybody's under the tent, Margaritaville Lounge, having a good time. I mean, I got to imagine that part is pretty cool.
I think U.S. Open, it is, you have more of a party aspect. So it depends on what you're going for. The center court atmosphere at the U.S. Open, it's so much fun. Yeah. I do love it. Nationals, it definitely has a little bit more of a serious feel, I think. Probably especially even for the spectators. But both are amazing tournaments.
Yeah. Webby, I think really what she meant was U.S. Open is awesome. But Nationals is great too, so.
It is. It's awesome. Both are. It's hard to pick.
Well, I've got to say, strictly from a spectator standpoint, since I've never been to either of them, Nationals definitely looks more impressive. I would say it just looks like such a massive event. U.S. Open does too, but just, I don't know, something about Nationals in Indian Wells that just the venue looks amazing, and it just has such a huge and professional vibe to it. But
It does.
I do feel like the U.S. Open has maybe a more fun vibe. So like you said, it all depends on what you're going for. If you want like the big, more like, I don't know how I want to say it, but like a more tight knit. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, it looks like the U.S. Open is more of a more of a fun atmosphere. The other one is more of it's like a grand scale, big atmosphere.
I agree.
All right. I like that answer. Another quick question, lightning round one. This was from Barry Sowak. Hopefully I'm not butchering that name there, Barry. And Barry asks, how much time do you practice versus playing?
I practice a whole lot more than I play, but mainly because it can be a little bit of a challenge to consistently get 4 good players out on the court to play. One of our best players in the area just had a baby, so she's going to be out for probably a little while. And so anyway, normally I'll find one other person and mostly do skinny singles and drill. Would love to play more, but it's just not an option as often as I would like.
Yeah, I'm sure that the higher you get, the harder it is to be able to find people to be able to play with. And so it's almost like when you have 2 of you, you might as well spend your time drilling at least, right?
Right. Yeah. I love skinny singles because you get to hit every shot that you would hit in doubles. And you are actually hitting every single shot. So for practice, it's great. I did find that playing it too much may not necessarily be a good thing because I started getting worse and worse at changing the direction of the ball. So definitely need to play full court with 4 people.
Yeah.
Along with doing some drilling.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Probably get
You
used
know,
to
I
certain
didn't
shots
either
and
until it
stuff.
started to happen.
Yeah,
It's like,
interesting.
shoot, I can't change the direction of the ball without popping it up.
Huh. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. Cool. All right.
Well, maybe because you didn't have to find out.
Yeah, hopefully not. I do play a lot of skinny
Yeah.
singles though.
Okay.
All right, last question here. And this is a little bit of a long question. So long that the text is going to be cut off on the screen here, but I'm going to go ahead and get it out as best as possible, okay? So this is from Mark and Jamie Rydell. They say, hey, Corrine, Jamie and I played mixed doubles as a husband and wife team. We just played our first 4-5 tournament and got bronze. Congratulations, Mark
Nice.
and Jamie, by the way.
Congrats.
Yeah. They're asking you, can you share some insight on how to take advantage of being a couple that plays together? Also, they have chosen to not stack, but do switch on occasion when they need a stop. Can you also share some tips on using switches to gain advantage?
Oh boy. Well, I'm glad you guys can get along and play together because that can be difficult to do. It's definitely an advantage to have your playing partner be, your spouse, because you can practice together. Even if you just practice one-on-one, you know what you need to practice on, work on, you're aware of each other's strengths and weaknesses, and you can, what needs to be focused on. And then even, practicing in games, you can easily practice together, which is amazing. For switching, I think sometimes, if you get stuck on one side, it's a good idea just to switch, just to change things up a little bit, give your opponents a different look at, at the court, at you guys. And, I found sometimes just making a change, you get a point right away because it's like, oh my gosh, she was over there on the forehand, now she's not. So it just gives something a little extra to think about. And then, that would be the biggest thing. If both players are comfortable playing on either side, just switch it up if you get stuck. Without knowing real serious specifics.
Nice. Thanks for the question. That was a good one. One thing I want to know is how do you prepare for the big tournaments? Like, do you have any rituals or anything that you always make sure you follow the day of or the days leading up to a big tournament?
I try to practice as much as possible before a tournament, before nationals. I don't have a routine, but before nationals, I traveled a little bit to get practice, which I don't normally do. So traveled to Naples for a weekend and then traveled to Savannah for a weekend. And that's that's a lot. I never imagined, I'm going to go to Florida for a weekend just so I can practice. But I wanted to be as prepared as possible. I've started working out a lot more just because, the points are longer, the games are longer, and it takes a lot more to make it through a full day of pickleball. So definitely not necessarily a few days before anything, but just on a regular basis, I do a lot more working out. Right before a tournament, I definitely try to drink a lot more water because last year I had a problem getting dehydrated. Got sick a few too many times.
Oh man.
From being dehydrated. Yeah. And I practice a lot of skinny singles. So whatever my weaknesses are, I try to make myself as comfortable as possible in those areas leading up to a tournament, because so much of this game, just like anything, it's confidence. So just trying to get myself as confident as possible leading into a tournament.
Nice. So you mentioned how you got dehydrated quite a bit last year. Do you have anything that you recommend for staying hydrated now that has helped for you, or?
So I use Liquid IV, and at nationals I got introduced to Jigsaw Health, and it was amazing. I mean, some of the stuff I feel like, it could be a placebo effect. I think it's supposed to work, so it works. But it really worked. It was amazing.
Nice.
Definitely gave me a boost. So those two things I think definitely help. And then for me, I used to have a hard time. If I got nervous, I'd have a hard time eating, and I've realized it's really important to eat. Because if I just drink water, it just washes everything out. So making sure I eat something throughout the day, which normally it's nuts, and I like beef jerky.
Oh, nice.
I gotta put something in my stomach.
Right. Yeah, gotta get that protein. But yeah, definitely the hydration is so important. It's something that it kind of scares me because I experienced some dehydration not too long after I started playing pickleball because I wasn't taking breaks to drink water and stuff. And I got real sick one day after playing for a few hours, and it was pretty scary and very scary feeling. So I have been definitely made a big effort to make sure I stay hydrated. It makes a huge difference. And like you said, drink a lot of water the day before you start playing, and then any chance you get in between, when you do timeouts or in between games and stuff, definitely I cannot stress enough, stay hydrated as much as you can, because that's a big thing.
Definitely, because it's a terrible feeling being dehydrated. Oh, or running around the court and you feel like you're gonna throw up. Nobody wants to feel that way. Yeah.
Definitely. You also said something a little bit about being nervous. So something I always like to ask anytime we have successful pros on the show, what do you suggest? Do you have any tips or anything for dealing with pre-tournament jitters?
For me personally, the more prepared I feel for the tournament, the less nervous I'm going to be. It's all about confidence. I will never feel as nervous playing pickleball as I did on the first tee for golf. It is never going to happen. I used to be an absolute nervous wreck. So I, just try to put things in perspective. It's a game. In the end, that's what it is. It's a game. Yeah. And we do this because it's fun, or not everybody, but I I think most people are playing because it's fun. And if you can't go out there and compete and have fun, then maybe I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I probably wouldn't do it if I couldn't go out there and compete and enjoy it. So
Right.
I think part of it is just putting it in perspective. And in the end, it's a game and we're playing because it's fun.
For sure. Absolutely. And it's
And what's the
definitely
worst thing
gotten
that's going to happen?
right. Yeah,
You
exactly.
go out
You
and
could
play
go
pickleball and
you'll
you
go
might
0-2
lose.
out. Yeah, worst thing that's gonna happen
Yeah.
is you're gonna go 0-2 out. I know
But you know what?
very well how that feels.
Yeah. But guess what? You still got to spend your day around pickleball.
That's right.
I
Yeah,
feel like
worst
that's
case
still a
scenario, you
win.
can worst case scenario, you can just hit the bar early or at the Beer City Open, hit the beer tent
Yeah,
early, stuff like that.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um, one thing that I want to bring up, not too long ago, Vulcan Pickleball made a huge impact in the pickleball world by announcing that you, Gizmo, and Tyler Leung were joining the Vulcan team. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came to be?
Yeah. So Tyler actually introduced me to Vulcan because he had been talking to them. And he introduced me in Atlanta back in May. Um, and I at that point I'd never even heard of Vulcan, but I met the team, and I mean the team's amazing. The Vulcan group, they're most of the guys that they were baseball players, but they're just a great group. Vince is the CEO; he's amazing. It's so much fun, but it started back in May in Atlanta. I got introduced to them there, and that was it.
Nice. But yeah,
And
same
I
thing
couldn't
here.
be
I had never heard of Vulcan until that all happened, but like the marketing was great. I mean, the way that they introduced it with you, Gizmo, and Tyler, definitely made a big statement. That was pretty huge news, and definitely put their company name on the map. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, I don't pay that much attention. I mean, I'll just tell you, I kind of live in my own world. But I do think Vulcan has definitely made an impact very quickly. And I'm thrilled that they have, because it's they're so supportive. They care so much. It's a good I love the paddles. The bags are amazing. I don't know if you've seen the bags, but definitely my favorite bag that I've had so
Nice.
far. And yeah, they've been awesome.
Yeah, they seem like a great organization. They seem very fun, and I love the fact that they signed Gizmo, because I know there was like on the pickleball forum and different things. Like there was actually kind of some controversy because like
I
people were
know.
complaining that like he's not even a pro level player. Why are they sponsoring him and stuff like that? And to me, like I thought that was a great thing, because I mean, talk about an ambassador for the sport of pickleball. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Gizmo, I feel like everybody knows who Gizmo is. Like who cares if he's not in the like the
I
top
know.
pro level tournaments? I mean, he will be eventually. I feel very confident that he eventually will be, but I mean, to me it doesn't matter. I mean, like he's one of the first names that they knew of because of just like how he was putting himself out there in such a fun way. And it was just like he was another example of people, like I would show people like, man, look at this, look how fun pickleball is. Like, and I would show pictures of Gizmo. Like he had some awesome pictures on the pickleball forum and stuff like that, and he was always posting funny things. And I was just like this is exactly what pickleball needs. We need to prove that it's not an old person's sport.
Yeah. Yeah, Gizmo's amazing. I hadn't really been around him a whole lot until Gizmo and Tyler and I all went to Hot Springs to go to Vulcan and meet everybody. But Gizmo tells everybody about pickleball. It's so fun. And of course, he's always wearing his Vulcan gear, and he's got the burgers all over it. So it draws attention anyway. But I mean, he is telling the world about pickleball,
Oh yeah.
which I think it's so cool. And
Yeah,
super,
Ed Dine
super nice
knows
guy.
what's up. He says Jay Hall is a great ambassador for pickleball. Absolutely couldn't agree more.
Definitely. Yeah, so I'm happy Vulcan signed him. I was really disappointed to see some of the comments that people made.
Yeah, like Eddie and I have talked about that numerous times. It blows our mind, like how rude people can be, and like the things that they put out there on social media. It's like, man, you're making yourself look like such a fool. Like, why do you feel the need to say that stuff? It's like it blows my mind how ridiculous people are, especially
I
on the
know,
pickleball
and
forum.
I don't know if they forget that we see that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I stopped looking at a lot of what people will say because I did go through a period where I was getting a little bit upset. So, but I don't know. Maybe they forget that we look at it too.
Right. Yeah, it blows my mind. And then at the beginning, like when I first started getting into pickleball, like I was on the pickleball forum a lot more than I am now. But like there were times where like if I was in a certain mood, I would go troll hunting, so to speak, like where I couldn't take it. Like people would just get under my skin, so I would like try to put people in their
Yeah.
place. But with the people that put themselves out there like that, there's really no point to even caring about what they say.
No. That's all right. It's a growing opportunity.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's still a great tool. It's a great way. There's in the in between all the troll comments and all the crazy people, there's some very good content out there. So I still think it's a great
There
thing.
is. Yeah,
You
it is.
just gotta kind of weed through the garbage.
Yeah, I know.
So word on the street is that that you love to travel. Is that true?
That is true. Too much.
Nice. What are some of your Oh, really? What are some of your favorite places you've ever been to?
Um, so Iceland has been a popular spot, but it's amazing. It's like seeing what the Earth looked like, millions of years ago. Um, Beautiful waterfalls everywhere, and then you've got the lava fields, which is interesting to see. The glaciers, it's amazing. And then Switzerland. Switzerland is beautiful. Definitely, probably, I'd say the most beautiful place I've ever been. This
Nice.
December, got a trip planned going to Patagonia, which I'm really, really excited about. Going to be traveling with just a backpack, so should be interesting.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, but it'll be an adventure.
Yeah, that sounds like a quite the adventure for sure. Eddie and I have actually gone backpacking before. It's
Yeah?
a unique thing to do, just like traveling with like nothing but what's in your backpack and the food and like your tent being on your backpack. Like it's if anybody ever gets the chance to do it, I definitely recommend it because it's an awesome experience.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I feel like it will be a worthwhile experience. So where did you guys go?
Well, it's pretty close to Patagonia, Pinckney, Michigan. So right outside of Ann Arbor,
Okay.
we did a little
Nice.
3-day trek, which is
Yep.
probably a little bit different than what you're gonna go through, but always a good.
I don't know.
time
I
for
feel
sure.
I feel like Pinckney, Michigan is pretty much exactly like Patagonia. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like people always say that you can't even tell the difference, really.
Yeah, like they have a whole clothing line named after Pinckney, right? Oh no, that's Patagonia. Shoot, I had this- yeah.
Well, still
But that's
a
awesome,
cool
though.
experience.
That's very cool that you're doing that. Very nice. But yeah, we don't want to take up too much more of your time. We can't thank you enough for being here. One thing I do want to ask you though is, do you have any tips for people like Eddie and myself who are working at becoming benchmark 4.0 players? Is there any kind of tips or advice you have to give us? Because we're really trying to work hard at becoming better players, and we want to at least become benchmark 4.0s before we attempt taking the pros on.
I would say we hear when everybody starts playing pickleball, get to the kitchen. And definitely on the receiving side, you want to get to the kitchen as soon as possible. On the serving side, you want to get to the kitchen as soon as possible, but in a smart manner, is what I say.
Right.
So you move forward on the right shot. So not move forward at all costs, it's move forward on the right shot. And as you move forward towards the kitchen, setting your feet anytime your opponent's getting ready to hit the ball. Because I see too many people running, they hit their shot and they run for the kitchen, and they're still running when the ball's coming back at them, and it's hard to hit a nice, good, accurate shot back when you're on the move. So setting your feet and moving forward when you've hit a good shot.
It's good stuff.
Nice.
It's actually funny. We were just talking about that last week. Actually, the whole when Webby and I both started, we both got some advice to like hit your third shot and sprint to the kitchen line, and it's like now I'm looking back on it now that we kind of know the game a little bit better. It's like that was some bad advice that we got there.
I know,
that was not good.
and I see. I mean, I'll give lessons, and people are playing. They're like, they hit their third shot, and then it's gun ho for the kitchen, no matter what shot they've hit. I'm like, you're gonna get killed on half of those. Stay back and defend, unless you've hit a good shot, and then you move forward. Moving forward on your smart shots.
I like it. So
it really is funny because I'll play with people and they'll get mad at me. They'll be like, "Mate, you got to run up here with me. You got to run up to the line." And I'm like, that was not a good time to get up to the line, buddy.
No. Yeah, because it's amazing what you can get back from the baseline. Overheads, you can get back overheads from the baseline, but not when you're standing right up there at the kitchen.
No. Or moving at the kitchen, right? I mean, that's the hardest time to hit the ball is when you're running. So
it is, yeah.
Good advice. See, now, Webby, we have no excuse. We got to become benchmark 4.0 players. So
yeah. And I'm going to use this advice in a couple days. I'll be playing against Lauren and Kyle of the No Smoke Pickleball show. Finally going to meet them on the pickleball court. And I think with this advice, they're in for a hurting.
That's right.
They are. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Corinne's on your team. Real quick, we got one more comment before we let Corrine go. And speaking of Dink for Pink, it's from your partner during that, Nicole Miller. And Nicole asks,
nice.
Corrine, what are your hobbies outside of golf and pickleball?
Oh,
great question.
I still play tennis occasionally. Most of my time is totally consumed by my job, teaching finance and being involved on campus, and then pickleball and golf. And when I have a lot of free time, I usually take off somewhere because I do love to travel. So normally deciding where I'm going to go. So it's, that would be the majority of my time. Might work out if I'm up for it. Just kidding. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, before we say goodbye, I'd like to give you a chance to say whatever's on your mind. If you want to let everybody know the best way to follow what you're up to, anything you want to say.
I mean, if you guys want to follow what I'm up to, social media is definitely the way to do it. So either on Instagram or Facebook. I will be out of the country for almost a month, starting December 9th. So, but yeah, if you guys want to follow me on that adventure, you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook.
Nice. Is that the backpacking trip?
After that. It is, yeah. So it's coming up December 9th, head into Argentina.
Nice.
Yeah, I will
definitely follow that. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah. Might try to play pickleball. So
So you're gonna
flying
put
through
some paddles,
Buenos Aires.
put some paddles in your backpack.
No, I'm trying to figure out how to do this because I'm hoping to play pickleball maybe one day. One day while I'm in Argentina. So
Nice.
still debating how that's gonna happen.
Just chop down a tree and whittle your own paddles. Make some nice old school wooden paddles. You'll be all set.
Yeah. Could always borrow one, I guess. I'll find a way.
Nice. Oh man, this has been such a fun night. Thank you very much for joining us. Cannot thank you enough.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. But yeah, have a great night.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks, Corrine. We'll talk
Enjoy
to
your
you.
beer.
Oh yeah, will do. All right, see ya.
See ya.
Man,
another great guest,
another amazing guest.
It never ends here. The fun never ends.
Yeah.
On the Eddie and Webby show, right?
Yeah, I still don't know how we keep pulling off getting such great guests.
I'm telling you, they feel bad for us, man. That's the only possible explanation for it.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel like the recent video I posted of my first ever 4.0 tournament where I went 0-2 out yet again. I feel like the pros all feel really bad, so they want to console us and just help us feel better.
Yep, I agree with that. But how cool is Corrine, right? I mean, she's a professor. She's an awesome pickleball player, awesome golfer. She's going backpacking in Patagonia, which has always been a dream of mine. I mean, how cool is that?
So cool. She is such a cool person, and a great person to have involved in the sport of pickleball. It's awesome.
Yep. Ed Dine just said bye. I'm assuming he was making a joke at the fact that as soon as our guest leaves, everybody drops off, which
right.
Apparently Ed is one of the ones that once again doesn't care about Eddie and Webby. Only cares about our guests, right?
Bye.
Yeah.
But seriously, guys, you do not want to leave because we still got some great content. In fact, anybody that's been watching the last few episodes, I've been showing off some of the training I've been getting from DJ Howard, and tonight is no exception. You know why?
Why, Webby?
Because tonight, it's time for part 3 of my one-on-one training session with DJ Howard, and I feel like now is probably just as good of a time as any to play that.
I will roll it now.
So same thing here. You got to maintain the stability and balance and then rhythm. In terms of posture here, we want the elbow kind of out away from the ribs a little bit. We don't want it back here locked, but we also don't want it way out in here. Okay. This would be okay. Once I get closer though, that you're going to bring that in a little bit. You want to be more balanced and ready to pull the trigger if you need to, as well as block. If you're way out here, you just don't have time.
Right.
Have it ready. Good. Feel this?
Yep.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. So, not saying we can't add a little bit, but we want to be able to set it and just bump it. Okay? Once you start adding a lot of motion, here, more inconsistent.
Right.
We want consistency, control. We only got 3 hinges. 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
Okay, what hinge do we want to be using primarily on the volleys? The shoulder, okay, but then the wrist will also set itself. I'm going to set my wrist hinge, and then my shoulders can have, it's allowed to extend. What I don't want is elbow, here. Once I start using a lot of elbow, now again, it brings inconsistency into this. If I start flipping my wrist, now I got issues. Yeah, I'm going to be a lot less consistent.
Right.
You want to absorb impact with the body, much like a boxer who's being punched, he's going to absorb, right?
Okay.
But he's always ready with his legs and his body. But if you want to strike, you're still set up with the legs. Here, does that make sense?
Yep.
You know, a boxer is always on balance.
Right.
You know, so if you've ever watched any type of boxing at all, you see they're always balanced. If they're off balance, that's a problem.
Yeah.
They're going to get hurt, right? So we want the same thing here. You're chasing the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
It's going to take some practice, some work before you can track the ball in your brain and make the body adjust quickly enough, early enough to be able to hold that technique every time.
Right.
It's getting better. I see it. There's already improvement. But before it can become super clean and the most efficient balance and stability possible, you're going to have to see a bunch of repetitions.
Right.
It's going to take practice.
Yeah.
You're going to get stuck sometimes getting back into like chasing the ball, right?
Yeah.
But you'll start to feel that strength and stability and that athletic posture more and more as you go. Right? You'll get reps. Let's keep it rolling. There you go. Good. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. That's not to say you can't ever add pace.
Right.
Sometimes you can. But if you start going with too much,
Yeah.
now recovery takes a little longer again, and you start getting a little bit behind. Right? Unless you're going for a put-away shot that you know isn't coming back, you got to keep it a little shorter, a little simpler,
Okay.
and then recover. Right?
Yeah.
In general.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Now, as you improve, you can start to add more. We can start to add more spin. We can start to add more direction to this ball, and so on.
Okay.
Ready? That's right. So now what happened? What do you think about the decision right there? Good, bad?
I mean, at the time it seemed good. It was like, oh, here's an open opportunity.
I still agree with the decision. The
Okay.
decision was correct. Execution wasn't perfect.
Okay.
Okay, you just cranked over a little too fast.
Yeah, but I mean, it seemed like in the right zone. for me to do
Absolutely.
it.
You had a green light to be able to do more with that ball. Make sense? So
Yeah.
totally okay with the decision. You can make a good decision and still not win the point.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it was a bad decision. Sometimes we just get over anxious and we
Yeah.
rush. Sometimes we just, maybe it's poor technique.
Yeah.
But in that shot right there, was no fundamental flaw that we need to get rid of. You made a mistake. You just turned it over too fast.
Okay.
I'm willing to bet that's not going to continue to happen over and over if I give you that same ball. I mean, hopefully not.
Right. Hopefully not.
If it does, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Right? But don't think, oh, I shouldn't have done that necessarily. It was a physical mistake,
Just do it better.
not a mental error.
Gotcha.
Right? Here
Okay.
we go. So we always want to distinguish between whether it was a bad choice or just bad execution. Here we go. Good. Here we go. Yep. You're getting good repetitions now. Here we go. Here we go. Nice job. Yeah, getting solid. Good. It's all control right now. This is why one of my taglines is keep repping.
Yeah.
Keep repping.
Yep.
Keep repping. You get repetitions over and over and over again. You start to get confidence hitting that ball. I've seen it before. I'm just going to execute.
Yeah.
Right? Which again, playing is good, but how often are you going to see that same ball over and over again? You can't really groove that stroke.
Right.
You're kind of guessing to whether you're going to hit it well or not. Just haven't seen it enough.
Another great video. That was good stuff, man.
Yeah, I've said it before. Like, I cannot get over how much I learned just in one session with DJ. People might not realize, like, the last 3 video segments that we've played, those were all just from one session that I had with DJ Howard. And we're going to have at least one more, maybe 2 more parts to conclude with. But I mean, just such great stuff that he went over with me. And like, I'm still learning to this day, like rewatching the stuff that he went over with me. There's things that we went over so much that I feel like it didn't all sink in at once. So it's so valuable. Like, I'm so glad that he allowed me to record it and share it with everybody. And in turn, I'm rewatching it and seeing stuff that I still need to work on that he told me I need to work on. So valuable. You've got to take advantage of training if you ever get the opportunity to do so.
Totally agree, especially with somebody like DJ, who obviously is a great instructor, but he's also a player that has really earned his spot in the top, right? And so you have that. Not every good player is a good, coach or instructor. Not every
Right.
good coach or
Oh, yeah.
instructor is a good player. To have both like that, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it takes a very special person to be able to do training and coaching properly, and it just he blew me away at how good he was at conveying what it was that he wanted to say, making sure that it sunk in with me before moving on to the next thing. So yeah, it was awesome. And like DJ says, keep repping. Like that's
Yep.
so valuable, like so important to drill, do things repetitiously. Is that a word? Repetitiously?
Yeah,
I don't know. Keep
it
repping.
works.
Just keep repping.
Well, we had a
yeah, but
professor
if
on
you-
right before this. She might be able to tell us if that was the right word or not.
yeah. We need Corrine back on to make sure I'm saying the proper words. But
Repetitiously.
But
No, I like
anyway-
that. That's good. Good stuff, man. I
Yeah, I mean,
love that you did that with DJ, and I love those videos. Seriously, they're awesome.
yeah, I'm glad I got the chance to do that, and I'm gonna try and meet up with him again over the winter and get some more training. And as we talked about a couple episodes ago, or actually it was just the last episode, DJ and I got challenged by Eddie here and Tony from Into Pickle. So once the Wolverine Pickleball facility is up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, that's going down. Eddie and Tony versus Webby and DJ.
Bring it. Bring it on, I say.
Can't wait. Can't wait for that. So much good stuff happening in 2020.
Yeah.
Man, like I can't get over, like 2019 was like an absolutely epic year, and already 2020 is shaping up to be a pretty epic year as well.
I agree. And do you want to know what a great way to be able to wrap up 2019 would be?
How's that?
By playing in the World Pickleball Championship. That was the cheesiest transition I think I've ever done in my entire life, and I love it. But we're talking about the
Nicely
World Pickleball
done.
Championship. Thank you. December 27th through 30th in Punta Gorda, Florida at the Pickleplex, which is an awesome facility. I've played at twice. Actually, 3 times. Once in a tournament, twice for rec play. Love it there. It's a good place to be able to play. You can register at worldpickleballchampionship.com. And guess what? This is going to be the first ever $100,000 tournament, which is pretty cool. If you don't want to play, you can actually go and you can watch some of these amazing matches. And guess what? I'm not going to say this is the best thing that's going to happen, but it's definitely up there. Can you guess what that is, Webby?
What's that?
Well, I'm going to be there live streaming. That's right. I'm going to be working with a team
No
of
way.
commentators. I'm going to be live streaming. I've been working this week on putting together some cool graphics that we're going to have on the screen and, stingers. Do you know what a stinger is?
When you get stung by a hornet or a bee, obviously.
Yeah, I've been putting together some nice pickleball bees. No, it's when you do instant replay and you there's like a on the screen and it goes from one to the other. I've been doing some cool stuff, guys. So honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. Definitely come down here to Punta Gorda. But if you can't make it, make sure you tune in for the live streams because they're going to be pretty awesome.
Very nice. I am looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I will not be there in person. I will be there in spirit, and I will be there on the internet watching.
That's good. I like it a lot. Anything else we want to talk about here before we take down the podcast and go into dinking around with Eddie and Webby?
The only thing I want to say is, seriously, guys, if any of you want to join us on Dinking Around, send us a private message on Facebook. And as long as you have a good internet connection, a video camera, and a microphone and headphones, you can join us.
That's right. You. We're talking to you. So listen up. Got it?
Got it.
Another great episode. That was episode number 55, which means there are 55 of you out there still watching right now. And guess what, Webby?
What?
We appreciate them. We love you to bits. We want
We
to kiss
do.
you on your lips. That's for sure.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody. On that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
I'll see ya.